Are you suffering from rib pain, pain between your shoulder blades like someone's stabbing you in the back? Stay tuned for 3 tips that you can do at home to help alleviate this pain. Welcome to Dr Kez's Chirolab. I'm Dr Kez, Doctor of Chiropractic. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing so that you don't miss any of our latest videos. Have you had that stabbing pain in your back before and you're looking for something to do to relieve it while you're at home? We get clients in all the time with this common problem, and believe it or not, 9 times out of 10, it is a rib subluxation. In other words, the rib has gone out of place and it's pushing on nerves causing discomfort. A lot of people think, how does a rib go out of place? But a rib, just like any other joint, has got the ability to get stuck in a particular motion and aggravate nerves and trigger off pain. Sometimes rib pain can be so severe that people choose to call an ambulance because they feel like they might be having a heart attack. So don't deny that this problem can be quite severe and quite painful. It can also trigger off pain up into the head and neck, creating neck pain or headaches, and also pain coming around to the chest, which is where that common concern that, am I having a heart attack? Just remember, if you're ever in any doubt, call an ambulance. It's not worth the risk. But for those of you who are quite sure that this is aggravated, every time you take a deep breath in, you can feel that pain getting worse, then it probably is a rib problem. And we're going to take you through 3 little tips on how you can help relieve that discomfort. Now, this problem is an inflammatory condition, so using ice is actually really beneficial to help this particular problem. So anything that you've got around the place, whether it's a pack of peas or if you're lucky enough to have an ice pack that's gel moldable so that it can sit in that area precisely, that's ideal. I'll just show you a pack that we've got that is really brilliant. This came by, someone clever has invented this little pack. You can put your ice pack in, it sticks inside here, and then you can actually attach it to your body. So in an inflammatory condition, our protocol is to ice on and off every 10 minutes. So 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off, and it can be a bit of a pain if you've got to stick on the couch and rest with it up against your back. So something like this is really handy to hold it and press it against your back. We've got a link below to show you where you can get these, and also another video that talks about the ice protocol, really important. With this particular area of your back, because of the nature of the muscles in the area that are associated with assisting us to breathe, sometimes just icing this area can cause spasm and tightness in the muscles. If this occurs when you've been doing the icing, you'll know what I'm talking about. You end up getting that tightening after you've taken the ice off. In that case, and only in that case, we recommend that you alternate the ice with heat. 10 minutes of ice, 10 minutes of heat, 10 minutes of ice, and so on. Always start with ice and end in ice because it is an inflammatory condition and we don't want to inflame things any further. That's number 1 tip on how you can help reduce this discomfort in your back. Once you've done it for about an hour, you'll find the difference is incredible. It really does feel quite a relief. Tip number 2 is related to the muscles around this area. Because of how much musculature there is around the rib cage, it's important to relieve the tightness in those muscles, and that'll really help prevent it from pulling on that rib that's sitting in the wrong place. The best thing for that is a spiky ball. These things are quite firm, they've got spikes on them to increase the blood flow to the area, and it's really important not to rub these on your spine or on the shoulder blade directly. Rubbing this firm plastic onto your bony parts is actually quite uncomfortable, but on the muscles it is tremendous. I love having one of these in the car, particularly for this area. You can drop it down one side in between your spine and your shoulder blade, roll around and get rid of that discomfort, then lean forward a little bit, it drops a little bit further, get to the next tight muscle, and so on and so forth until it pops out the bottom, and then you can take it and do it on the other side as well. These are absolutely fantastic. You can also use this on the floor. Let me show you. Place the ball on the floor, always needs to be a nice firm surface, and again, manage to manipulate your body so that the ball is between your shoulder blade and your spine, not on the bones, remember? And just roll until you find that spot. Sometimes you'll get a referral, so it might ping a pain all the way up into the back of your head and neck or through to your chest. That's a trigger point releasing, so it's important to rest on that spot and allow the muscle and the ball to do its work, and then roll to the new spot, and so on and so forth until you find that that area is feeling quite relieved. Whenever you've been doing muscle work with a ball, stretching or rolling, it's really important to make sure you drink plenty of water. The water comes in and flushes out that lactic acid, really important. Now, before we talk about tip number 3, it's important to understand why it is that these ribs go out in the first place. When we have tight chest muscles, maybe we've been working at home in poor ergonomics, or like myself, being a chiropractor, leaning over my clients, we tend to find we get tight in the muscles at the front and not as strong as the muscles in the back, and it causes these rounded shoulders. So if you can stretch your chest, it will allow the shoulder blades to move back over and protect the ribs as they're designed to do. Unfortunately, when we do have that rounded shoulders, our shoulder blades roll out to the side and the ribs have got any opportunity to pop out in and out without us doing much to cause it. So make sure that we stretch this area as well as we can. You can use a bookcase, for example, to lean up against, but I find doing it in a doorway great because you can do both sides at the one time. The muscle fibers in the chest, or the pec muscles, orientate in different arrangements, so you need to give a good stretch in these different areas. So we start with a Y formation with your arms up high, and then a T formation straight across, and then X right down the bottom and stretch. Hold each of these stretches for about a minute and you'll come off feeling a lot better in your posture, and you'll feel that relief in your shoulder blades. It is important, however, not to do this as your first step in trying to relieve rib pain, because the inflammation will still be there because you haven't yet used your ice or done any of the release of the muscles with the ball. It's really important to be able to do those steps first before we then stretch. But this final step is really important to prevent this issue from coming back all the time. Now, I do need to tell you this, the rib will not put itself back in, so you do need to get off to a chiro or osteo to get that resolved. You will find with doing these tips and tricks at home though that you can alleviate an enormous amount of that discomfort that comes with having a rib problem. This really is a very common problem. We see it in clinical practice all the time. If you've experienced this before, let us know about your experience in the comments below, because other people will benefit from hearing your experiences as well. If you've enjoyed this video, please click on the like button, and again, please consider subscribing so that you don't miss our latest content. Thank you for having us on your therapeutic journey.